Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at bellisiofoods.com/careers.
Well, happy Thursday morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV. We are here, and we're with Tony, and he's ready to party, aren't you, Tony?
Absolutely.
Okay. No, we have some friends as guests here this morning from Bellisio to talk about several different cool things that they have going on. So we will get to them in just a second. But before we do that, don't forget, this is the first week of Cycle Search 2023. Do you know where it is yet, the packet?
No, Southeastern Ohio.
Somewhere, yes. She is so correct. It is somewhere around here somewhere. Yes. But no, so we have Cycle Search Clue 4, because today is Thursday, which is the 4th day of this week. Mm-hmm. And this one, I don't know, are you going to take anything from it? But let's give you the Cycle Search 2023 Day 4 clue. And let's make Tony do it. All right, Tony, read Day 4.
Okay. For Day 4, we're off to the races. The packet is waiting to be found. Look high and low and all around.
Ooh. So that's off to the races. Does that mean anything? Or is that just... Is that literal or figuratively speaking?
I don't know. I think it can mean both.
I could. Yeah. Tony, you're just confusing the heck out of everybody.
That's what makes it a challenge.
That's right. That's why it's going to be a minute before somebody finds the key packet. All right. Well, cool. You guys are here from Bellisio. So if you would introduce yourself so our guests know who you, or our viewers know who you are.
So I'm Tony Hemminger, the Director of Quality with Bellisio Foods.
I'm Renee Conley, the HR Recruiting Supervisor at Bellisio Foods here in Jackson.
That's right. And Renee's been here a couple of times, but Tony, she what did you do to get Tony here today?
I just emailed him.
I thought there was like more to it than that. But no. So you are, what did you say, the head of?
Director of Quality. So I have quality, food safety, and the sanitation that reports to me.
Okay, so that is a big job to do, and a lot of people, I think, know that you all make the food at Bellisio, but there's a whole lot of, it's kind of like us with the brewery. It's basically 80% cleaning and 20% of brewing and all of the other stuff, which is the same as food manufacturing. I think a lot of folks understand that you cook things and you package them and they magically appear in our grocery stores, which is fantastic, by the way, and very, very convenient for all of us. So thank you. But behind the scenes, there's an entire sanitation and whatever department that you deal with. And so number one, you guys have some open interviews coming up, but we wanted to also introduce Tony and talk about, sanitation and when those shifts occur and that kind of thing. Because you're looking for folks.
Yeah, we're looking for to keep enhancing our team and growing our team with the company.
Yeah.
As you said, Bellisio we're producing food, and you see it on store shelves all across the United States. We even export products to other countries, as a matter of fact.
The world. Just think about that. Like, stop and think about that for a second, folks, that we are in Jackson, Ohio, making food that goes all over the world. Doesn't that just blow your mind?
Exactly. So, and not only is it the country and the world, but it services, our products service all 3 meals and snacking. So products coming out of Bellisio Foods, Jackson, Ohio, can provide meals for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacking opportunities.
It's full service.
That's right.
Right.
Exactly. And, it's very nice that, we're down here in beautiful Southeast Ohio. anyone could make an opportunity at working for Bellisio. Hard work, effort. There's all kind of opportunities. It's a large company, as I said, with the opportunity to feed the world. You can grow with the company. And appreciate you bringing me on to talk specifically about sanitation.
Yes.
I do have food safety and quality, but what the first step of that food safety and quality is making sure that we're producing in a clean environment and on clean equipment. So
yes, we're glad to know that.
That's right. And so when I just take it to when I train folks that come on, just to try to keep it to the simplest terms. Think about, I'll go to when you're making a meal at home or for your family or making cookies. We'll say making cookies, right? So when you make cookies, you got a blender, you got a cookie batter. Well, when all that is done, there's stuff that has to be cleaned.
Yeah. While they're baking in the oven and smelling heavenly, there's other stuff that needs to be done.
Right. So you got your blender. You gotta take apart the blender. You gotta scrape away the big debris that you don't want going down the drain.
Sure.
You clean. You do your big clean, and then you do a rinse. Then you do a scrub and soap. And then in the manufacturing world, after the scrub and soap and inspection, there's a sanitizing piece.
Okay, so there's so many numerous steps to cleaning, and this is day in, day out, all the time.
That's
it
right.
never ends because you all are cooking things. Then you have to clean up, and then we start all over again.
That's right.
It's a process that takes place every single day.
Right.
So, and I guess sometimes you just don't think about that sanitation part of it, but we're glad that you're there.
It's no different than just taking your kitchen at home and multiplying it 100 times larger.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, same practices that you would use at home, maybe just a little bit more extreme.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us the sanitation, shall I say crew? I don't know if that's the right word or not. Shift, perhaps. Is that like, the overnight shift? Is it the morning shift? When do you have the sanitation folks come in?
Yeah, sanitation primarily happens on third shift.
Okay, and the hours of that are?
Typically around 10:30 at night to about 7:38 in the morning.
And they could stagger a little bit. I know that you had mentioned that in the past, but around 10:30 to 8-ish.
Yeah, it just depends. Yeah. And I know that they are doing 6 nights a week right now. So.
Okay, very good. And if you're the kind of person, so here's the deal. I have a friend that just started, actually she's working at Bellisio now, working third shift, loves it. And I'm like, but it's peaceful. You're there when most people are home sleeping and whatever. And if you like kind of that peace and quiet, I think that's a really good shift for people too.
And the other side of it too is if you're a visual person and you like to be able to see things, you know what the equipment and the area looks like when you come in. When you get done with your work, you can visually see the efforts that you did while you were there. So it's self-rewarding because you can see, it was for lack of a better word, it looked like a big mess when I got here. But when I left work, I handed it back to production in a clean state. So there's that self-rewarding.
Every day.
Every day.
I mean, everything's all scrubbed down. It's all sparkling, ready to get messed up again.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So don't look at it that way. Oh, great. These people are going to come in and mess up my work. So tell us about a typical shift with sanitation, if you would. What all would someone do if they come in, they clock in at 10?
Right. So they come in, they're going to have a shift meeting with their supervisor or manager on a nightly basis. Talk about any company news or any safety trainings or any other operational training that needs to happen, and then assignments throughout the facility as they go. And then they're going to suit up. They're going to get their gear on, their PPE gear on, so that they're safe while they work. And then they're going to go out there. First step is lock out, tag out for anything that would need to be locked out or tagged out prior to tear down.
Okay, what's that mean?
So your lockout tag out is a safety term where you disengage any potential energy source.
Okay, I gotcha. Nothing so no equipment comes on while you're cleaning.
That's right.
Yeah.
Safety first.
Gotcha.
Safety first.
Safety first.
Safety first. So any lockout tag out that has to happen to keep it safe, then you tear down your equipment and then do your dry cleanup. So like I said, the batter, the cookie batter,
Yeah, you're
scraping your
sweeping,
cookie
you're
batter
getting all the
out.
chunks, yeah,
Yep,
the big stuff.
getting all we call that the dry cleanup step, and then you would do a pre-rinse to get any of the loose debris that you couldn't do from a dry scrape, and then you're going to soap. In our case, we call it a foam. Let
Okay.
it set, and you do another rinse and scrub, whatever needed to get any visual. Then inspections, another rinse, put back together and sanitize.
And then you get to clock out and go home.
That's right.
And that's a good day.
That is a great day.
Very awesome. So a lot of the sanitation stuff is going on third shift, but there is a really good benefit to third shift.
Renee.
Yes. So you do get $1 differential
Whoop, whoop.
for working third shift. So
More money.
that comes out to $15.97 an hour. We do pay weekly, so that's always a plus.
That is huge. A lot of
Yes.
people don't do that.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's great.
So yeah, that's a plus. So
you're
will be-
starting out at $15.97 an hour
for
on third shift.
sanitation. Yes, that includes the $1 differential.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a pretty good wage.
And then there's room for advancement, I'm assuming, as
yes,
well.
Absolutely, yes. And if you're a veteran, we do increase wages for veterans. So come in and check out our website or come and talk with me tomorrow, open interviews, because if you are a veteran, we can hire you in as if you were an employee for 2 years. So that makes it really nice.
Oh, heck yeah. So we're talking a little bit probably more money, but
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you for your service, all your veterans
No,
out there.
you're
Yes.
exactly right, 100%, and they deserve anything that anybody can give them. Absolutely.
Mhm.
All right. So let's talk for a minute about some of the benefits of working at Bellisio. I know Renee's been here a time or two, and we've talked about the free health clinic, and
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the great benefits that you would get working for Bellisio. That's this big company that has a lot of amenities for you.
Yes. Okay. So first and foremost, the free on-site health clinic that is available. Excuse me. That's available from day one. So if you need from day one that you're an employee. So if you need to make an appointment, if you need some blood screening, if you just have a sinus infection, whatever it may be, you can download the app or make an appointment and go over there.
Okay.
The employees can even do that while they're on the clock if they need to.
Okay.
We also have
That's great.
Yeah, it's a great plus. We also have our medical and dental and vision. We have retirement and life insurance. We also do after 90 days. We also give you a boot allowance up to $100. There's a website that you can go
allowance?
online.
Oh, like boots, like you wear on your feet.
Yes.
Okay.
Just like regular boots. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yes. We also have.
Wait, you got your boots on?
absolutely.
He does.
And we also have a gym membership reimbursement.
What?
So if you are, have a gym membership, we reimburse for that. We do monthly drawings for our employees. We just done one, I think, this week, and we gave $200 gift cards, I think, to Kroger. So in the summer, usually we do like zoo tickets or something like that is what they'll do usually.
Awesome.
We also, of course, our entrees, we offer those at a discounted rate. Those are called grab bags. They're $5, and you just come over to HR, get your ticket, then you'll go over to the shipping, fill up your blue bag. You can get quite a few entrees in that.
For
and you can
$5?
And you can do 2 deals of those per day. So that's always a plus.
Yes.
We do vacation time after 6 months. You get 3 days vacation. You get a personal day after 90 days that's paid. You'll get your paid holidays after 90 days.
I mean, this is just
Touch base
awesome.
on everything. Yeah. And like I said, and just the rewarding, of being part of all the food that we distribute. We're 17 acres under one roof,
Yes.
located here in the heart of Jackson. So
Correct.
That's pretty amazing. And we produce about 2 million entrees a day. Am I correct there?
Wait, a
Somewhere?
day?
A day.
Yeah.
So being part of that.
What kind of crack are you giving those people that work that fast? Oh my gosh, that is insane.
Yes.
Wow.
And so wages
That
starting
is
out
awesome.
For a second shift, it's going to be $14.60. That is just, that includes your dollar differential, and that's just entry level as far as production line workers.
Okay.
We do need second shift employees. We also need the third shift employees.
Okay.
That's $15.97 an hour, like I said before, with the dollar differential. We do have some limited first shift availability. That's $13.60 an hour. The big focus is second and third, though, for the open interviews tomorrow.
Very good.
If you have a resume and you're interested in looking for something else, just bring your resume and I can talk with you about it at the open interview session. We also have our forklift. That's $14.97. That's our warehouse.
Okay.
It starts out at $14.97. You get a dollar differential if you work second or third shift.
I tried to apply for that. Renee wouldn't hire me. No, I'm just kidding. She's like, no, we're not giving you anything mechanical to deal with.
We do have some third shift availability for forklifts, so we do have a few spots there. We also have some machine operator positions, and you can just talk with me about that tomorrow. I will be at the University of Rio Grande starting. It starts at noon tomorrow. Just bring 2 forms of ID with you, and I'll be there till 2:00 tomorrow.
That's right. And so, you don't have to make an appointment. You just show up and, chat. She's lovely. Don't you want to chat with her? Tony, you going to be there too?
I'll let Renee do all that.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Open interviews at Rio University. Now that's the Jackson location. Don't drive all the way down to Rio. The one right beside Tri-City Theater here in town, 980 Main Street. And again, that's tomorrow, noon to 2. All you have to do is bring 2 forms of ID, and you can join the team. Second and third shift openings. Let's talk about the different shift hours. I know you mentioned third shift, but what would be the hours that people would work on first shift, second shift?
Okay, so first shift is going to be anywhere from like 4 or 5 o'clock start time in the morning to anywhere at maybe a 9:30, 10 o'clock start time. So that's for first shift. Second shift is going to be around 11 o'clock start time to anywhere from a 6 or 6:30 start time. So there's a wide range of different, if you need flexibility, that is kind of how we can help with flexibility if you need a certain time.
Okay.
Typically it's going to be wherever we need you the most, but if you need like a 3 o'clock start time, we can look and see what availability we have at that time to get you started.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, depending on your babysitter schedule and all of these things. That's the great part about you all are flexible. You'll work with people the best you can to let them work the hours that they need. So that's really good. So what does a day in the life? I know we talked about sanitation a little bit, but the first and second shift folks, what are they doing per se? What are you looking for, I guess?
We're looking for entry level. So, we will train. So you just need to come and be motivated and ready to work in a fast-paced environment.
That makes 200 meals a day. So, or 2 million meals a day.
Yes. Factory life, it's very fast-paced, very loud. Safety is our number one.
Yes.
So, you will start your day by making sure you wash your hands and put your hairnet and all your equipment that you need on.
Okay.
Then you will go out there and typically you'd have a meeting with your lead or supervisor to see how the day's going to start.
Okay.
And they will get you started wherever your line is or whatever you're going to be doing.
Okay, very good. And, there's any number of jobs there. What would be some of the jobs that folks would do? I guess, you're actually cooking the food and all of that stuff?
We have cook positions that are dedicated. Those are bid jobs, or we can hire in as a cook position if you have some experience.
Okay.
And those are, like I said, our bid jobs, and what we're hiring for is just like general utility right now.
Okay.
So those are more of, you're going to be wherever the need is, like line work. You could be, stacking boxes or putting, the pizza rolls in the entree boxes or something like that. You could be in the kettles or the Blanchard's area pushing, the little, what are those little... Low boys, yeah.
Low boys.
Pushing those. I don't go out in the factory a whole lot, so I don't know a lot about what those...
No, but the cool thing about what you're saying is you need people. Number one, you'll train, but you also just need people that can be versatile and that, are willing to learn any number of positions. And when you do that, well, guess what? Then you're very valuable when you know how to do all of this stuff.
Yes. And we
And then
do
you
like,
can move up.
yes, that's what I was going to say. We do like to recognize talent. You can grow within our organization. There's a ton of room for growth. You just have to get out there and show them that you want it and be motivated and ready to take on the factory.
That is awesome. Feed the world.
That's
Yes.
right.
No, I mean, that like gives me chills when you think about that you all said that, these meals are going all over the world. And I mean, that is something coming from little old Jackson, Ohio.
Yes.
So aren't y'all proud? Like,
Yes.
that's amazing. All right. So again, open interviews at Rio Jackson tomorrow, February 24th, noon to 2. Just bring your 2 forms of ID. You'll get to talk with Renee. She's lovely, as you can tell. And free on-site medical clinic, weekly pay. That's a big one.
Mhm.
All the dental and medical and all that stuff and vision insurance. That's huge too. 401k, all of that stuff available. And if someone can't make it tomorrow, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Just go to the website, bellisiofoods.com/careers, and they can apply online. My phone number is on the form there, or you can just call the Bellisio number and they'll transfer you over to me.
To Renee. Okay.
Yeah.
And then just the phone number is 740-395-0928. And they'll get you in the right direction for sure. So, all right. And Tony is here to make sure that all of the cleaning and safety and all of that fun stuff happens as well.
Absolutely.
And you can come work with him. So that's great. All right. Is there anything else you'd love to tell our viewers while you're here? What's your favorite thing about working at Bellisio?
Family-oriented atmosphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and smelling the food.
Of course.
I know Matt kept talking about that. I heard when
Yes.
you were on the radio, and I was like, you're right. Well, because he said, I grew up in Chillicothe. The smell of our plant wasn't nearly as exciting as the smell of the plant here. I was like, yes, you're right on that.
Yes, because every day I smell something different when I walk into my office. So
I know. And there's so many different lines that you all do from, we talked about pizza rolls, but just like did you say that there's a breakfast line now?
There's breakfast line as well, yes.
What? Blowing my mind.
Yeah. So.
And if you work there, you can get grab bags for $5 a day.
yes, that's a pretty good deal.
That's a real good deal.
Yes.
And not to mention the fact that you all really work within the community. I know during COVID, you had all of those free food giveaways, which, cost the plant, let's just be honest, a lot. But you were there for the community when people there wasn't any food in the stores and, whatever. You were there and gave that stuff away and, it was much appreciated. So, that's the kind of company you're working for. So that makes a big difference when they care about the community too.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell our viewers?
I'll just come on down tomorrow.
Yeah. Come see them and they will take good care of you and you could be employed on Monday.
Yeah, possibly.
It's possible.
Yes.
And if you're thinking about maybe maybe you had retired or maybe you do you have part-time positions as well or full-time?
No, just full time.
Just full-time right now. Okay.
The part time is geared for the 16 and 17-year-olds. So right now it's just full time.
Okay. So, but again, if you haven't been in working, you're like, I'm bored. 'Cause I think all these people retire and then they're like, oh no, what am I going to do? I'm bored. You can go see her. She'll take good care of you. All right, get out of here.
All right,
Go back to work.
All right, thank
Thanks
you.
for coming. See, I told you we were going to party today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Thanks,
very,
Jennifer.
very nice to see you guys again. And don't forget, open interviews tomorrow. If you're looking for a great job, thanks. If you're looking for a great job, give these guys a chance, and you'll be very glad that you did. All right, Dylan, let's go over the weather forecast. You got that for me, buddy? It is really, really nice today. And the weather forecast, if you don't get out and about today, do some hiking or do something, I don't know what to tell you because it is absolutely gorgeous. Sunny skies today, highs of 76 degrees. Got to dig out the shorts and let your white legs glow. How's that? But then tomorrow, unfortunately, dropping back down into the 40s, about high of 47, lows around 29. With partly cloudy skies. Saturday 52, Sunday 59. So, looking a little bit better. And then Monday, that rain creeps back into the forecast, but the highs will be a little bit warmer at 68 degrees. So there you go. Not looking too darn bad for this time of the year. And it is February after all. I know that we're all really itching for it to be to be warm, but hey, we'll take this day when we can get it. Dylan, are you a warm weather person or a cold weather person?
Honestly, I enjoy the cold weather more, just because you
Do
can
ya?
get snowmen, hot chocolate, all that stuff. It's cool.
All the feel good
But
stuff
that's
that
like
comes
snow
along with it.
weather. I don't like just that cold weather.
I know. I'm like, if it's gonna be miserable, let's get some snow. Like, I want 2
Exactly.
feet of snow.
Yeah,
Let's
if
do
there's
it.
snow, I'm happy with it. But if it's just cold,
Yeah.
I'd rather not.
James, are you a cold weather or hot weather person?
I want it just right.
I
I
know.
want that like 65 to 75.
How about today? 78 sunshine.
Today's what I want.
I'm sold.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. 75 and sunny every day of my life. I'm good.
Yeah, there's something about it being 75 in February that feels a little troubling, though.
It does a little
Yeah.
bit. Well,
that's not what it's supposed to. It's not what's supposed to be happening.
I know. The problem is, then you get that one day and you're like, oh,
yeah, it's
there's a
gonna
light
be-
at the end of the tunnel. And
Right.
then
Yeah,
here comes,
right.
the weather again.
I know you just had that graphic up there. Throw it up there again. Isn't it going to be like 30 tomorrow?
No, 50 something or
Okay.
47.
All right, well, it's
Yeah.
staying nice. Okay.
I
It's
mean,
dropping a little bit. I mean, it's
76
dropping
to 47.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
it's a
30
pretty big
degrees
drop.
difference.
But honestly, 47 is not bad for this time of the year.
No, not at all. And honestly, I can deal with until we get down into like the 20s. I don't even
Mhm.
like really mind it. It's just
Yeah.
that and the wind. I don't ever remember the wind being as crazy as it has been the past year or two.
I don't know.
I could do without the wind
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit less.
for sure.
But hey, Pete Wilson's here.
Pete Wilson is here. We're going to do some news,
Yeah.
and we also have something very special to tell you about.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give up my seat to the newsman.
Okay, get the health out of here. Mr. Berger used to say that in health class. Get the health out of here. Do you remember Mr. Berger?
I do.
Al Berger?
Very fondly. Very fondly.
He
What
used to
a
say-
wonderful man.
Class is over. Get the health out of here.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a reminder to do some self-preservation.
Yeah, that's right. He was a wonderful man, that's for sure. All right, Pete Wilson is here, and I'm just going to say right off the rip, can we all stand up and
Okay. What's going on?
Pete, you have been nominated for more Hooper Awards than like ever, and you all and that is so exciting. And they're going to announce the winners on March 30th in Columbus. And I mean, you all have been nominated before, but this is a list like almost the whole sheet.
Right. Well, I tell you
That
what,
is insane. You guys rock it.
we feel extremely blessed. We got the word yesterday from the Ohio News Media Association, formerly the Ohio Newspaper Association,
That is nuts.
about what they call the Hooper Awards. It's their annual contest in many different categories of newspapering that's held every year. And we've competed almost since the Telegram has been under this current ownership back in 2005. And we've always done fairly well. But this year, numbers-wise, this is the most awards we've ever won. Now, what we don't know is exactly what we won for and what places. But we do know
That's right.
that we won 21 awards. And I think the
21 awards.
the best we've ever done in our best ever year was maybe 17. So we feel really good about that. And this is everybody. This is the whole team, not even just the editorial people. We're talking about advertising, graphics, photographers, everything that goes into, the newspaper website and everything. They look at everything. And we placed in 14 of the 19 categories, and in some categories twice. So Definitely a team effort, and that starts at the very top with the ownership because they have been committed to having a newspaper that's adequately staffed in a time and era when that is going the reverse way most other places. So
Well,
I'm appreciative of that, grateful for that, and I never take anything for granted. So got a great team working all the way through, and we try hard. Sometimes it gets a little frustrating. Hours are long, but
they are.
when things like this happen, you know that your hard work does pay off. So I thank everybody involved,
agreed.
and that is truly everybody in total media, not just the news people.
You're exactly right. But you said it comes from the top down, but you're the editor of the paper. So it comes from you and the staff, and you all have made it happen. So
Right. Well, that's very, very kind of you. Very kind
congratulations. My heart is bursting
of you.
this
Okay.
morning for
All
you.
right. Well, thank you for mentioning that. We'll know a whole lot more, but not until March 30th on particulars. But we do know that it's good news for the news people.
It is. What the heck they make you wait so long for? That's not
Well,
nice.
because they want you to pay to come to their award
To their
ceremony
awards
and have a $45 lunch with some things on the plate that you can't identify.
Some very small, bite-sized
Yeah,
things.
there's always something green on there. You don't know what it is.
I gotcha. Okay. Maybe safer to cater in lunch here and watch it online.
Well, put it this way. On the way home, I know we have to pass at least 7 White Castles.
There you go. You're safe.
Right, exactly.
No, congratulations. I think that's wonderful. All right. So what is going on in the news? You always have so many different stories, good, bad, and the other.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll start with what kind of has been, our main story for almost the last month now. And that is, of course, the officer-involved shooting that resulted in the death of 31-year-old William Beach Jr. Did some checking with the Ohio BCII, that's the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation and Identification, that is investigating the case since, a sheriff's office deputy was involved in the shooting, and did get a little bit more information. First of all, are you ready? The investigation is active and ongoing.
No.
Yes, active and ongoing. What that means is we're not going to tell you a whole lot more until it's over. One of the things that we found out was that after the case is turned over, this is what we've been told before. The case file, once it's done, the investigation is over, that information will be turned over to the Jackson County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, and they'll determine where to go from there.
Okay.
Well, here in the discussion stage, I've got this from the Ohio BCI yesterday, and then also confirmed it with Jackson County Prosecuting Attorney Randy Dupree. Randy has requested the Ohio BCI's Special Investigations Unit to handle the prosecution on this to at least begin with.
Okay.
That's because, the Ohio AG and BCII investigated it. Randy also said that if they make a decision on how to proceed with the prosecution, they're not only more knowledgeable of it because, their own people investigated it, but it will remove any representation that there's local bias involved.
Yes.
Whichever way that they would go. Because obviously, local people know local people. That includes the prosecutor's office and the law enforcement officers and so forth. So what will happen is the Ohio Attorney General's Office, the Special Investigations Unit, once the investigation is over, and once again, I asked for a timeline, no timeline. It's not like, they're almost over or whatever with the investigation. Once they are through with the investigation, a decision will be made on whether to proceed with prosecution.
Okay.
That would mean possibly having a Jackson County grand jury decide on an indictment.
Okay.
It's also possible that the Special Prosecutions Unit could look at it and say, there's nothing here to even consider, and it wouldn't go to a grand jury.
Right.
You can have it's all how you want to look at it. Sometimes when a prosecutor takes a case to the grand jury, often it's because he is seeking an indictment or she is seeking an indictment. But sometimes it's just to have another set of eyes look at it. you almost present it as a neutral person. Here's what happened. You 9 people. What do you think? Should there be an indictment here? And so, you know, it would be put to them, even if the prosecutor wants to indict. You know, the 9 jurors would have to decide, and it's not all 9 that would have to indict. And I cannot say this enough. An indictment is not a conviction.
So that's what I was getting ready to say. So basically, when things go to a grand jury, it's the jurors are deciding whether they think it's possibly worthwhile to proceed on to go to trial, not that someone's guilty or innocent. It's that there's enough evidence there to send it on to trial.
That it should be looked at.
Yes.
It should be looked at now.
Which is why most people get indicted on stuff.
Right.
Because, okay, yeah, there's evidence there. Let's let the courts deal with it.
Yeah, the indictment rate is very high when an indictment is taken, because you only hear one side. It's what the the defendant isn't in there saying, hey, I shouldn't be indicted. An attorney is not standing up for that defendant.
What did Dad used to say? You can indict a grape.
Well, you can indict a ham sandwich. That's the famous. That's the famous phrase. And once again, an indictment is not a conviction.
You're right.
But it doesn't even have to be.
It's important for you all to remember that.
It doesn't even have to be taken to a grand jury if you don't think there's anything there.
Yes.
However, in some cases, maybe a prosecutor may decide, well, I don't think that there should be an indictment, but I want another set of eyes to confirm that motion. You can do it that way. Now, Randy Dupree told me on the phone yesterday, he's of the mindset, but it's not going to be his decision. It's going to be in Columbus. He said his opinion is that and he's not speaking generically, he's not speaking of this case, if there isn't enough there for an indictment and you don't think it should even proceed there, he won't bring it there. That's his opinion. But some prosecutors may say, well, I'm not sure, or I don't think so, but I want confirmation from 9 citizens.
Yeah, let's put it in,
So
in the hands of
right. So that is what has to be decided, the course of the prosecution, if there is going to be prosecution.
Okay.
Here's another thing that was a little disappointing to me. We had the body cam, and people have had different interpretations of that.
Yeah, it just kind of muddied the water a little bit.
Right. Of course, the sheriff came out with a pretty detailed statement on what he said ensued in there.
Yeah.
The Beach family and people who were at the protest, they feel that the body cam showed, they contend that Beach was unarmed when the shooting took place.
Sure.
It was hoped, I think, by everybody that the BCII report, once it was done, the details would be in there on what they determined happened.
Yes.
Right. But now that case file is not going to be released publicly until everything is over. It's not going to be released when the investigation is over. It's going to be released when the prosecution is over, any court case is over, or it's decided it's not going to go to court. So we're not going to. So we're not.
This is going to be forever then.
Right. It could be. It won't be till the end of the court case if there is a court case.
So I have a question for you then, Pete.
I thought it would be as soon as the investigation was over, and then regardless of what happened in court or if there was no court, we would know then, because we do want to have some closure on this.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. But and I'm not being critical, I'm just asking the question. Then why release the body cam video that just confused the heck out of everybody? And honest to God, has really started some some controversy here in town.
I got you.
And then not release anything else.
Right.
Why would you do that?
From a logical, and we talk about really smart people in the Ohio BCI and Attorney General's office.
Right.
But I think it does beg the question, if you're not going to release the investigation report until it's all over, why would you release an important piece of evidence right in the middle of it?
Correct. That's like...
That is honestly subject to interpretation.
It's very confusing.
Right, it is.
At the least.
It is, and you don't know whether it's all the body cam. I did ask about other body cam footage, and that was not answered, by the way. So I don't know whether there is or it's under review, that request or not, but it was not responded to, that particular question.
Okay.
So
they can do whatever they want to do. It's just, but we can ask the question too.
Right. I guess it's public information. It's like a 911 recording and like that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that if it's part of because if it's part of an investigation, that is always the reason why you don't get it until a certain time. But in this case, they released it early. I did not expect to get body cam until everything was over.
That would be
But-
the one that you would think that wouldn't be
but
released.
we got it, and I think that's what prompted the sheriff's statement, as well as some of the interpretations and theories that were negative to the sheriff's office.
Well, yeah, that, and people then become keyboard warriors and start posting stuff all over social media and this, that, and the other. And as we said, the body cam footage. I mean, every single one of us that got to see it, unfortunately, could have had different interpretations of it,
Right,
and that's fair.
Yeah, and
Because
people,
we were, did you hear the gunshot? Did you see the gun that was on the box? Did you, like all these things?
I've talked to different people who just, they're curious. They want to know. They know it was a bad thing that happened. They want to know, and so they looked at the body cam footage. And I've talked to people who saw and determined and inferred different things, and
Big time.
they're trying to be honest about it. I can't tell when that gunshot was fired. Some people think they can.
We've all talked about it. None
Right.
of us can figure it out. So
Exactly. You can see times when you think it might have been, or was the shot fired when the body cam footage was not even part of what we saw,
right.
just before maybe. So anyway, we'll just have to see. But what we've talked about here on the air on Main Street TV, we're going to have this story posted on our website tomorrow probably, and it will be in our Saturday edition. A little bit more detail, a little bit more background. Also, that we didn't go over here on our short review.
Okay.
So we'll be reporting on that.
We'll keep you updated as much as we know. You'll know.
Right. Okay. And turning to another issue, Jennifer, we talked earlier in the week about John Ondare resigning as a member of Jackson City Council.
Yes.
That leaves a vacancy. The Jackson County Republican Central Committee has, and this just happened last night, has announced a meeting to appoint a successor to fill the unexpired term, and that would be for the remainder of the year, by the way. John was an at-large city councilman, and if you hadn't read the story or don't remember what we said on our last segment of Main Street TV, John had to resign because he has moved to Chillicothe.
Right. They moved away, not like any other reason other than that.
Right. He hated to do it, had mixed emotions about moving because he knew he couldn't continue as a councilman, but this was, the best thing he thought for his family.
Yeah.
But the meeting that the Jackson County Republican Party Central Committee has called is for Friday, March the 3rd. So just 8 days away. It'll be 6:30 p.m. at the Jackson County Republican headquarters. That's the old American Legion building on 185 Morton Street. And anybody who is a Republican, who is an elector in the city of Jackson, and is
Because it's an at-large
right,
position.
it's an at-large. It could be
Yeah.
anywhere in the city of Jackson. You have to be a resident of the city of Jackson. You can apply for this position.
James?
I don't want to do it.
Oh, he doesn't want to do it.
Well, that's
Pete?
one that's one of the problems. Not enough people want to do it.
Dylan?
But
I think I'm too young.
are you 18?
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
can do it.
good.
You can do it.
All right, I'm good.
Well, okay.
Dylan! Pete's like, thank God we've got it. We've got one.
Okay, yeah. Well, the more the merrier. So, you have the party will have somebody to pick from. And it will come down to the members of the Jackson City Caucus because they are the ones who represent the city of Jackson. Should be 4 people if all those positions are filled that will make that decision. If you're interested, you can mail a letter of intent to the Jackson County Republican Party to the attention of Brent Stepp. She is the Central Committee Chairman at Box 271, Jackson, Ohio. You have to have your materials in by Wednesday, March the 1st, if you want the committee to review your materials, which could be
Like
a resume,
week.
a letter of interest, reasons why you think you would be a good councilman. You don't have to do that to apply, but obviously it's like if somebody gives you a resume
Kinda
and somebody
sell yourself.
doesn't. Right, it gives you the opportunity to do that. The people who are on the committee, I see that's here now, are Marlena Evans, Alice Newkirk, and Brent Stepp. Those are the 3 people that are on the city caucus right now. And any Republican interested in being appointed is invited to come. This isn't just a private thing. These party meetings are actually open to the public, and so people can come, and people who are qualified, and that means being an elector and living in the city of Jackson, being a Republican, you can apply. All right, a couple of other things we want to talk about on the criminal justice front. The Vinton County Sheriff's Office is doing something I think that it's very good for public information on their Facebook page. And we share some of this information in the paper, what we consider the most newsworthy thing. But most days, or at least coming off a weekend, they will put on an activity report. And it's basically almost a log of what happens during the day. Some of it is pretty routine, but you see how busy they are and the things that the deputies get into. And I'm sure it's very similar in Jackson County as well. But in one of their last activities report, they did report 2 notable arrests of 2 people. One was Heath Whetstone. He was arrested on outstanding warrants from Vinton County. They also found that he had suspected methamphetamine on his person following a search. Heath Whetstone is on the left there in that photo. The man on the right is Braxton Brown. Braxton Brown was arrested in connection with the recovery of a stolen motorcycle out of Jackson County. They recovered the motorcycle on Pretty Run Road, and Braxton Brown was arrested in connection with the stolen motorcycle in Jackson County. Now that could be sometimes when this happens, you're in possession of a stolen item. It doesn't mean you necessarily stole it, but you had it. There's 2 things. There's theft, but often there's something called receiving stolen property. That means they might not be able to know right offhand that you stole it, but you got it, and you better explain why you got it.
That's true. Yeah.
And they don't like it if you bought the motorcycle for 99 cents from somebody.
I was going to say that if you buy something that's too good to be true, it probably is.
Right. And if you, I think I'm not speaking out of school here on the legalities. If you know that it was stolen, that's a crime too.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that. All right, another story out of Vinton County that we want to tell you about. Jennifer, we've told you about all these demolition projects. They're happening all over the state because of all the state money coming in for demolition, badly needed throughout the area. In Vinton County, there are 20 properties that are on their demolition list for this last grant. And one of the properties that is on the demolition list, not sure when the demolition will take place, but it's going to happen. It's the building at 108 South Market Street. And we do have a photo of it. This was a large house. I don't know whether it looks like a house. I'm not sure if there was ever a commercial business in it, but it's just almost across Market Street from the courthouse and the sheriff's office. Exactly. When that building comes down, on either side, there's already 2 lots that are vacant. So that will be 3 lots together. That could be an area for commercial development. Or there's another thing they talk about in MacArthur, just as they talk about in downtown Wellston, the need for off-the-street parking.
Yes.
This could happen. The sheriff's office building, just kind of like as a relevant aside, they're still using that, the sheriff's offices in Vinton County, even though they're now operating publicly and dispatching everything out of the new building on State Route 93 North. Whenever they're out of the building in Vinton County, the Vinton County Sheriff's Office, whenever they're out of that building, they are possibly going to make that a parking lot as well. No, I don't think any official decision has been made on that, but that's right next to the courthouse, and there is a need for off-the-street parking in MacArthur.
Because that building's in bad shape.
Right. They're talking about taking some of the historical items out of that building and setting up some kind of public display that could be good for historical preservation and maybe even tourism. Remember, Vinton County is famous for having the first female sheriff ever in Ohio history. Her name was Maud Collins.
She was a wild one, right?
Right. Okay, we'll leave Vinton County now. We'll come back a little later because Red Thompson Jr. has appeared, and nobody knows more about Vinton County news than Red Thompson Jr. But we're going to go over a couple other things really quick before we let Red step in. Guess what the newest extracurricular activity at Jackson High School is going to be? It's outdoors. Take a guess.
Wait, the newest
extracurricular activity. You could call it a sport, I guess.
Does Dylan know? Wait, let me think. I got nothing.
Frisbee golf.
What is it, Dylan?
Am I allowed to say? Okay, I thought Pete was going to do it.
No, you can say it.
The bass fishing team.
Yes, there's going to be a fishing team.
Love that.
So many kids fish. I don't know whether they fish as much as they used to, but Oak Hill has had a very successful fishing team, and they are taking the cue from Oak Hill on how to do it.
I would have never guessed
But at the last school board meeting, They authorized the fishing team. They hired Jeff Strasser to be the first ever coach. Since then, I believe they've had meetings for both students and parents, and they hope to have some
Love
lines
it.
in the water this spring.
You know, we have, one of the most beautiful areas in the world for fishing. We have Hammertown. We have so many other beautiful places around here. So I think that's very fitting.
Okay. I'm going to tell you about a couple other things really quickly before we get Red on here for a few minutes. Remember, the Mouse Trap is happening this weekend.
This weekend.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yep.
Get your tickets in advance. You'll save a couple bucks, $15. Friday and Saturday evenings at 7 p.m. and then on Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m.
Yep.
And I understand that it's going to be a great production. It's the first non-comedy that Apple City Players has ever done. I thought it was going to be a comedy because everything else is, but it's
I know.
actually
There's a little fun in it.
It's a mystery. It's a pot boiler. So
that's right. It's Agatha Christie. Who doesn't love Agatha Christie, right?
A great cast. Also, don't forget Bellisio Foods is doing open interviews at the Jackson Center, Rio Grande, tomorrow from 12 to 2 p.m.
Yep.
Probably the Bellisio folks may have talked about that.
They
I bet.
did.
Okay. Very good. If you haven't paid your first half property taxes in Jackson County, tomorrow is the deadline.
Uh-oh.
So don't forget to do that. Monday is the first meeting of the year for the Jackson Visitors and Convention Commission. It'll be 10 a.m. in the Jackson City Council chambers. If you have a project somehow directly or indirectly connected to tourism that will bring people to Jackson, you have a chance to maybe get some funding support there.
That's right.
The Wellston Lions Club Fish and Veal booth is opening for the season.
Whoop, whoop.
Hey, we got decent weather, but it will
Yes.
be open starting tomorrow, Friday, at its spot there in front of the dollar store across from Brennan's Family Pizzeria. They're on South Pennsylvania Avenue. If weather permitting, they're going to be open pretty much every weekend from now on. It's 5 to 7 p.m. on Fridays, and on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Not only do you get veal, fish, gem pop, but it helps their projects, which include scholarships.
Yes.
All right. Also, on the sports side, we want to tell you this. Unfortunately, all of our basketball teams are done for the year. Both Red Thompson and I and Todd Compston and our broadcasting team from Jackson was up in New Lexington, had a very good first half, was ahead of the favored Panthers at halftime, but then we ended up losing 40-29 to the Panthers.
Okay.
But good season through Coach Max Morrow with a very young team. He finished 12-12. Also, the Vinton County Vikings, first-year coach N.J. Kite, they won the TVC Ohio, but they had a heck of a first-round tournament draw. That's Boston Campbell, by the way, going up for a shot here at a recent game against River Valley, I think it was. But anyway, the Vikings won the TVC Ohio, but they had to go to Warren Local. Warren Local has one of the best boys basketball programs in the area, and a coach who has won 401 games in his career.
They were rough when I was in school. So yeah.
You almost never beat them, and certainly not on their home floor.
Yeah.
They defeated Vinton County 58-36. It was close early, but Warren Local pulled away late in the game.
Gotcha.
All right, I am saving 7 to 10 minutes for Red Thompson Jr. He is a fast talker, and he knows a lot.
That's
so
right.
I'm going to vacate the chair. We very much appreciate him coming in. Remember, he had to drive all the way from New Lexington last night, so he got up early just for us, and we do thank him for that.
And let's just say Red is not a morning person. Right, Red? No. Come on over, big guy. Can we do the show at midnight? I mean, you can come in and do the show at midnight. We won't be here.
We could be like some of the famous late night DJs.
We could. Like, what was that? Fritz the Night Owl, or what was that guy's name?
Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, Wolfman Jack.
It was the overnight DJ, I think. And
Yeah.
Ralph Emery, those of you that like country, he did the night show on WSM. And all the, and back in the day, back in the AM DJs, listened to him, and they would play the same thing that he was.
Because he was cool.
So,
Well, you didn't come here to talk about DJs. You came here to talk about some new stuff that you know about.
yeah. Pete mentioned that sports is over, but we have a different kind of competition tonight
Oh.
in Benton County, the Spelling Bee.
What?
And, yeah.
How fun.
Tonight at 6:30 at Central Elementary, Benton County Local Schools is having their district-wide Spelling Bee. There's 39 contestants.
Love that.
Did you participate in that?
No,
Me.
I missed. I'll never forget it. I spelled knowledge wrong.
Oh,
I forgot the D in it
You know,
to make it into the spelling bee. So
You-
I'll never spell knowledge wrong ever again.
you know the toughest thing about that is you have like 10 seconds to spell a word. And,
Well, and it's harder to say it than it is to write it. You know, like you can write it down and see whether it looks right or not. And just saying it out loud is hard.
and you know, these kids have never been, most of them, they've never been in front of people. I
Right.
mean, there's an audience
Yeah.
out there. And
There's just like everything going against you. You know, like it's hard. It's intimidating.
so come out and support the kids tonight.
That's awesome.
And for most kids, that's their first competition that they've ever been in.
Yeah.
The public competition. So it'll be a good night. We'll be up there and we'll see who wins. We'll try to have a video of the winner, the winning word. And so come out and support the kids tonight for that. And the Benton County Schools also have other good news that came from the school board meeting we had Monday night, or Tuesday night. We had Jay Wallace. He is a computer teacher at the middle school. He has won Outstanding Middle School Teacher Award from the Coalition of Appalachian Rural Schools.
Oh,
That's a regional organization. They're holding a luncheon in Zanesville today. He's going to get honored.
very good. Congratulations.
So we're going to talk to Mr. Wallace and the principal and the superintendent, Mr. Brooks, and do a nice story on him.
Good.
So a lot of good things going on in the schools. We're also keeping an eye on tourism. The hotel renovation is continuing, and they're going to put an elevator in the parking lot. It's on the drawing board and a rewiring project.
Okay.
So that's coming up.
This is a big project. Be patient with it. It's going to be cool when it gets done.
Yeah, about 2024.
Yeah.
Maybe 25. It depends on when the funding comes in.
Yeah.
The funding might not come in quite as fast as they hoped, but it looks like it's going to be there.
Yeah.
And so we have all those stories from Benton County. We have more from the school board meeting coming up. It was a long agenda. They had a long executive session. And I'm sure it's one of those 10 o'clock nights that started at,
Yeah.
6:30.
Long night.
But it was all good. There was a lot of positives. And you can follow the Telegram and the Telegram News for that. So we had all of that and coming. And as Pete mentioned, the demolitions are coming up. And Hamden could have some very nice properties along State Route 93 opened up.
Yeah, there's a few pretty dilapidated properties there that could, make for some really pretty sites.
And that's,
It's sad that they got to that, point, but
it is, but I think that Ohio's made a great effort the state provided $42 million statewide to help with this.
mhm.
And people don't realize it's like here in Jackson, the bail bonds building.
Mhm.
That could be a nice parking lot for the
Mhm.
sheriff's office. And these buildings, I wish you could. I'm a historian, and I want to restore everything, but I also know that there's only so much money.
Well, I mean, there's buildings worth saving, and there's buildings that can't be saved because they've, gone too far, and that's unfortunate. But it's also a safety factor, and honestly, a practicality. There's a factor of that in there as well.
And you not only that, but you have to find a way to use them. I mean,
Right. Like,
there's-
what's the use for it if you do save it? Yeah.
And sometimes I've never known a situation where they've consolidated schools or they've shut down a school that people didn't want to save it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a use for it, I mean, it just.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't real happy about seeing my grade school torn down and made a grass lot. But, at the end of the day, you understand. We did that in Jackson. A lot of the, old grade schools got torn down. There's a lot of memories in all those schools,
Yeah, it's like the Louis and Wellston's the same way.
Yeah, lots of memories there.
Where you went on your first high school date, or when you went with your buddies to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Or...
Got kicked out of it. I mean, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's always notable. I worked at the Louis, and we unfortunately we had to kick a few out that were didn't behave, but
that's a rite of passage as a kid, get kicked out of the movie theater.
Yeah, I think so. But we have a lot of good things coming up in the Telegram. As the Vikings, they lost last night over at Warren. So this is the shortest run in the winter sports I can remember.
Yeah. Typically goes on quite a while.
The Lady Vikings went all the way to the States a couple of years ago, so they had a long run that year. But our teams will be back. Stay with us for spring sports. It's coming up. Baseball, track.
Yep. Bass fishing.
Yeah, bass fishing.
Are you going to join that team too? Oh, wait, you're going to graduate, so you can't.
Well, I could actually this season. But
oh, you could?
No, I'm just making videos for them.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Now, is that a spring sport or a fall sport?
Spring sport.
Oh, that's going to be spring sport. Okay.
Love that.
Oh, yeah. So they're good, happy casting to the Jackson fishing team. It's going to be a nice thing for them. And, and Jackson's going to have a good baseball team, and Wellston will have a good softball team, as they always do. So it's going to be fun. We got this. We call it the spring run. We're busy in the spring.
Gotta love it, and gotta love the weather that we're going to have today, Red.
Yeah, it's going to be very nice. It's certainly. I don't know. I remember a winter like this a few years ago. It hardly got any snow, and then in March came we got 18 inches of snow.
Basically, when you have this weather in February, you know that you're going to pay for it probably in March. But listen, every day that you have like this is one that isn't cold, so we'll take it.
Yeah, we certainly will. And driving to Columbus for my other job, I've been grateful that I have had to be on icy roads. So.
Yes, that's right. Safety first. All right. Well, Red, thank you for stopping by. We greatly appreciate you spending your Friday morning with us, because he is not a morning person. So for him to get up, and we feel honored that you get up and come and see us, because you work about 75 jobs. So.
Well, thank you for having me again. And it's always nice to be on TV and share the good news.
Very good. All right. Well, have a happy weekend, everyone. And we will be back here. Well, we'll be back here tomorrow to get ready for the weekend. So we will see you then. Enjoy the beautiful weather today, and not too bad tomorrow, just not as nice. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you right back here then. Bye, everybody.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
thetelegrammnews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, thetelegrammnews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
thetelegrammnews.com.
Subscribe today at thetelegrammnews.com.
Check it out.